Today, we'll be taking a look at religion. Now, I live in England, which is a Christian country. I was raised as a Christian, and then for many years, I was quite an aggressive atheist, one of those arseholes. But as I've gotten older, I've settled down as an agnostic. And when it comes to other people being religious, to me, having a religion is like having a penis. I don't mind knowing you've got one, but don't wave it in my face or try and force it down my throat. So, I live in a very multicultural part of the United Kingdom. That means at the weekends when I go into town, it's not uncommon to see people of various religions trying, as it were, to sell me their faith. This ranges from Hare Krishnas, who walk up to you smiling, hand you a book and then demand money for it, through to followers of the religion of peace, who are usually found standing on a crate screaming angrily, "Islam is not a violent religion," and glossing over all the honour killings, and of course the Christians, who despite this being England are almost always African and are keen to tell me we're living in the end of days. They've been telling me the same message for over 30 years. But there are plenty of other religious groups which we barely hear from. Hindus, Jews, Buddhists, Sikhs. In fact, the only time you'll hear from a Sikh in the UK is when they're pointing out that they're not Muslim. Generally speaking, Sikhs run 7-Elevens. It was Muslims who carried out 9/11. Which, as usual, is a tiny minority from that group giving everyone else a bad name. But there's one religious order which is somewhat invasive because they target people in their own homes. The Jehovah's Witnesses. So the door-knocking brigade are a bizarre offshoot from mainstream Christianity. And I saw a post on Facebook recently that said, the Jehovah's Witnesses are not a cult. And I thought that's exactly what I'd say if I was in a fucking cult. The Jehovah's Witnesses were founded in the USA in the 1870s by a man called Charles Taze Russell. Now, he didn't like the teachings at the church he was attending, so he went off and just made his own up. Now, there's an argument that all religious teachings may just be made up. But when you suddenly get a splinter group from an established religion, it's not long until the authorities arrive and the shooting starts. Not that there would be any gunfire coming from the Jehovah's Witnesses, because they're banned from any form of military service. They also can't get involved in politics. They don't celebrate Christian holidays such as Christmas and Easter. And let's be fair to Christians, they're the two big ones. They can't have blood transfusions, they can't smoke, they can drink but they can't get drunk, which sort of defeats the fucking point, and they're not allowed premarital sex. I can't imagine committing to someone for the rest of my life without knowing that they're a good lay. Also, Jehovah's Witnesses see homosexuality as a sin. Now, this always confuses me with religion, because if God made everything, then he must have also made the arse bandits and the carpet-munching women who wear comfortable shoes. Before the pandemic, the movement's main strategy was to go and knock on people's doors, which I find quite invasive. I've even had the Jehovah's Witnesses knock on Christmas Day. And I would have thought that the lights up, the tree and the decorations would give them a hint that I'm celebrating Christmas and I have no desire to join their weird fringe religion. However, a few years ago, I discovered a way to stop them knocking at my door. I'd seen them making their way along the street, so I had time to prepare. So I put on a dressing robe and nothing else, and when I answered the door, I allowed it to fall open. It transpires that when you bring a cock and bollocks into the equation, they no longer wish to chat. But it's my house, my fucking rules. So you may be wondering, why am I banging on about the Jehovah's Witnesses? Well, it's because they've changed their tactics, and recently I received a letter. It was addressed to the homeowner, and I thought that's a bit divisive, because the street I live on, half the houses are council houses. So it's a proper kick in the teeth to people who can't afford to get a mortgage. Anyway, it was from a Jehovah's Witness, and we're going to go through it. So here it is. It begins, "Hello, my name is Chrissy. Chrissy, your handwriting is fucking atrocious. Mine's better than that, and I'm left-handed and dyslexic. Anyway, in 1974, a man called Edwin Starr recorded a song called War. In it were these words, 'War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing.' I know the song well. Do you agree with those words? 48 years have passed since then, and there have been over 120 areas of conflict around the earth. Earth should have a capital E, from the Vietnam War to the ongoing hostilities in Ukraine." She continues, "Also in the 1970s, John Lennon wrote 'Give Peace a Chance.' Give Peace a Chance was written in 1969. Did Jehovah's Witnesses not understand Google? Not only that, he co-wrote it with Yoko Ono. Chrissy, why aren't you giving Yoko credit? Is it because she's Asian, you fucking racist? We'll continue. I am sure you will agree that peace has been given no chance at all. So what hope is there for us? In his word, the Bible, I expect that means Bible, our God has promised that he alone will put an end to war forever. Psalm 46 verse 9 states, he is bringing an end to wars throughout the earth. Again, that should be a capital E. The bow he breaks and he shatters the spear. The military wagons he burns with fire. Now that's very close to Psalm 46 verse 9. But it doesn't read like that in any other version of the Bible. And that's because Jehovah's Witnesses, they've got their own Bible. Or Bibble, apparently. Just imagine what the world will be like when all the nuclear warheads, bombs and tanks are completely destroyed forever. This is a promise our God is going to fulfill in the near future. To find out more about the wonderful life that lies ahead in peaceful conditions worldwide, 2 words, please read the details below. What I think to your letter, Chrissy, is that it's fucking disgusting that they're using the suffering of the Ukrainian people to try and indoctrinate people into their cult. And here's an important point. As an infant, I was christened. I am legally Church of England. If you're watching this abroad and that's blown your mind, yeah, God loves the English so much we've got our own church. In no way was it just invented so that Henry VIII could get divorced. And Jehovah's Witnesses, they go and worship at these places called Kingdom Halls that always look like repurposed leisure centres. Whereas, in my home city, the Church of England Cathedral, Norwich Cathedral, looks like this. It's like the door knockers aren't even fucking trying. As ever, thanks for watching. When it comes to religion, I'm going to get in the shit for this one. But I live in a very multicultural area of the United Kingdom. Which means there's nothing except fried chicken and charity shops. Fuck it. The multicultural area. Religion of peace. And usually you'll have someone stood on a crate screaming, Islam is not a violent religion! Yeah, you're fucking selling that, mate. For the pandemic, their tactic was to knock on the door. And I swear those bastards knew I'd just got in the bath. Nothing against Jehovah's Witnesses as people. But if you're watching this and you are a Jehovah's Witness, how many times have I come round your house and fucking hassled you? Reason that it's too windy. I'm going to have to finish it back there.